I'm a music teacher and I've never heard the music from New Super Mario Bros. Before in my life, so join me live in real time as we discover hidden connections, understand how music works, and have some fun along the way. Let's get rocking and rolling with title screen. How's it going, chat? Natalie speaks. Storm2666. Rubberman. Oh, hold on. Ah! I just clicked so many wrong buttons. All right, let's take it back here to title screen. We've got a D, do something like a G, back to a D, G. That's like a D major 7 there. So we have this like D underlying everything that's going on. A pedal tone, if you will. And this pedal tone D is hanging out here, and then we got this like 1. Yeah, you can think of it as being a 2. It's like a 2 minor 7 and a 4, by the way. Excuse me. Yeah, 2 minor 7 and a 4. Same exact notes. Starting on the 3rd of the 4. I'll explain that in a second. Just rock and rolling. All right, so what do I mean by a 2 minor 7 or a 4 starting on the 6th being the same? All right, so if we understand the notes under here, these are actually interchangeable most of the time. Why are they interchangeable? So in the key of D minor, a 2 minor 7, we're going to have the notes of E, G, B, and D. And this creates a 2 minor 7, aka an E minor 7. Now, if we started on the 4, we would have the 4 being G. We'd have G, B, D. This makes a G major. And then if, like here, you just have the voicing we just played was B, D, G, B, it's like, okay, these are all the notes that are found here. So we have all these notes are found in the same chord. So that's why they're interchangeable. It's because there's only one note right here that is dissimilar between the two chords. Let's keep it going. So in that last one, we heard, let's back it up. It's just short and silly. Kind of like Flight of the Bumblebee. Type a 2 in the chat if you've heard Flight of the Bumblebee before. Now, I talk about Flight of the Bumblebee fairly often because there's so many. Here we go. Like this kind of stuff. Flight of the Bumblebee-esque. Those are chromaticisms going up and down there. Let's go to the next one. Wow. It's like Super Mario World, but different. And also taking that dum 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 beep bum. Okay, so it starts off like the Super Mario World like menu theme, like when you're going between worlds, like when you're going between levels. That whole thing, but here at the end, right here. Wait. That dun 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 bo be ba. Ba-dum bon ba-dum 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 dum be ba 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 be ba ba be ba 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 be ba ba. Even though this sounds different, it's really two separate Mario ideas glued together. Ah, that is so cool. Type a 2 in the chat if you can hear the glued togetherness of those two Mario ideas. Let's keep going here. And it's looping. All right, cool. Really interesting chord progression here. So we're in the key of C major, aka our Mario home key. Now what do we hear? It starts off on a 1, and then it goes to a 5, back to a 1, and then it goes to a 4, to a minor 4, to a 3, to a 5 of 2, to 2, to 5, to 1. Let's play through one time. I'll call it out as we go. Here we go. 1, 5. Well, all right, for real now. 1, 5. Going back to 1. To 4. 4 minor, 3, oops. Yeah, I lost it there, hold on, because I can't actually hear the music, it's too low. 3, 5, 2, 2, 5, 1. Beautiful stuff, let's keep it going. That's like dun 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 dun. Check that out. Type a 3 in the chat if you can hear the da 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 dun ba dun 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 bum 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 ba da. Might be adding a note in now. I'm lost in a Mario wormhole in my own head. But yeah, okay. That's so nice, says she's starting. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. So right there, we just heard that retro flat 6, flat 7, 1 Mario victory theme there. There's the flat 6. There's the flat 7 to 1 major. You also hear that in gospel music sometimes too, and also other genres. Let's keep it going. Yeah, dude. Alright, volume raise incoming. A little bit more volume incoming. There we go. Well, this is the classic underground theme in the classic key of C, and then going to the 4 being F. Now, we did also hear this for the airship in Super Mario Sunshine, if I'm recalling correctly, which is an interesting theme to bring back there. Now we hear it here, representing the underground. Let's keep it going. All right, but actually though, the harmony here is doing some stuff that I'm not immediately picking up on. Let's actually bring it back for a second here. This is really cool. Oh my gosh, it's like, it's in the key of F, and it's doing... It's like doing a 1 to a flat 3 to like a flat 5, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's wild. No, that flat 5 is not right. What is that? 2. Yeah, flat 2, not flat 5, that's flat 2. All right, then it's flat 2, then to 5. Like, what? Who's ever... I can honestly tell you, I don't think I've ever seen that chord progression before. That is super fun. That is so cool. That's so playful. And a little like off the wall too. It's like bringing it back with a 5. What a move. So cool. Reminds one of the Infinite Staircase. Nice. 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 Hold on. Okay, cool. So I'm actually putting a little color coding in here for you to make this super easy on the eyes. Okay. There we go. All right, so what we have here is the almost exact chord progression as we heard many pieces ago right up here. And in fact, it's same chords, same order, but the chords you're getting slightly different durations of time given to them, if I'm not mistaken here. And one thing different that we're hearing here as well is the intro. So in the intro, we're hearing a 1, a 7 diminished of 2, to 2, to 5. Beautiful stuff. Let's keep it going. All right, we're looping now. What an awesome rendition of what I'm going to call the Mario main theme. Let's check out this next one. This is going to be the Starman version. Also called Starman for the first time since, like, the original Super Mario Bros., if I recall correctly. Whoa! All right, we get a brand new bass line on this version of Starman. What's the brand new bass line we're hearing? Well, over the 2, we're hearing, relative to the 2 chord, we're hearing a 1, 5, flat 7. Ooh! This is a new bass line for this version of Starman that we've not heard previously. And then over the 1, we get that 1, 5, 1 business we've been hearing since the very first version of Starman. Now, in addition to that, the bass line actually changes partway through. And partway through, it goes to relative to the 2, like a 1, 5 situation, and then a 1, 5 situation here over the 1. This is so cool. So the notes we're hearing here are actually going to be D, A, and then C. And the notes we're hearing over here are going to be C, G, C. So what the really cool thing for me and why I was oohing and ahhing is because these C's in both of the bassline versions, you just do not hear that in any other version of Starman up to this point in this Super Mario series we've been looking at. This is really, really cool. Okay, now we have a contender. Contender steps forward. Yoshi says we have heard this version of Super Mario 64. All right, let's pull it up because I might not remember it. We're going to go on a deep dive here, kiddies. Hold on to your hats. Hold on to your boats. Super Mario 64 Invincibility theme. Let's check into it. Oh, dude, you're right. Only here, the reason I'm listening to it again. Wow, great ears. Yoshi Star 705, Connor Miller 9. Fantastic. Fantastic ears and great calls. Yes, we actually did hear that bass line previously in Super Mario 64. Wow, good call on that one. All right, let's keep it going. So spooky. So spooky. All right, let's keep it going. Oh, so much fun. All right, so at the very start of it, we have a chord progression with power chords. I'm going to explain all of that to you in just 1 second here. So let's go full screen, iPad, cha-ching. All right, we have in the key of C minor, we've got a 1-5 to a flat 3-5 to a 4-5, and the second time it comes around, it does a 1 to a flat 3, and then it makes its way up to a 5. So what is a power chord, you might ask? Well, a power chord is when we just have a 1 and a 5 stacked together. What's a 1 and a 5, you ask? Well, let's back this up for a second. So this is a note, this is a note, this is a note, and we bring them all together. A bunch of notes played together is a chord. Now, if we think of this is not a perfectly watertight explanation, but it's going to work for now. If we think of the lowest note in the chord, that's going to be our 1. And if we go up 5 notes in the chord, that gets us a 5. And, well, no, we're going to back it up 1 step further. Okay, every piece of music we have, you notice I'm putting here this like little C minor thing. This is because this is associated with a key. Now a key is a collection of notes brought together. What's that collection of notes? Well, in this case, it's going to be C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, and whoops, B flat. All right, so if C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, right? So if we take 1 and 5, that's going to get us C and G. That's going to get us our 1 power chord. Now, here's the thing. Well, what about for flat 3? Well, if we start on flat 3, which is E flat, and we count E flat as being 1, then B flat's going to be 5. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so we get an E flat and a B flat here. So E flat and B flat. That's going to create this power chord. Power chord always has the 1 and the 5. Now here, the lowest note is F. So if F is the lowest note and F is 1, what is 5 going to be? Put it in the chat. So F is 1, G is 2, A is 3, B is 4. And now here's the thing about music. After B, we go straight back to C. There's no H and there's no break. So after B, we go to C. So that's going to be 5. So we've got our F and C here equals our F5 chord. Now here, the 1 is going to be G. So put it in the chat. If G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, and then D is going to be 5. So we have G and D, which equals our G5 power chord here. Now, why is a power chord called a power chord? Well, it's called a power chord because when you take the 1 and the 5 and you add some distortion, it's going to increase the number of overtones that you hear. What are overtones, we ask? Well, the reason why you can understand and hear the difference between and ma. Okay, you hear those are 2 different sounds. One's a voice, kind of sounds like a sheep. The other is a guitar. The reason you can hear the difference between those 2 notes is a word called timbre. And timbre means that the overtone series or the frequencies of those 2 sounds change fundamentally, and the higher part, well, not just the higher part, but they change fundamentally throughout the, if you were to look at the frequencies, you would see that there's a difference in the shape of the frequencies, even though they're creating the same note. So the shape and the difference in the frequencies, right? Some have more in the high end, some have more in the low end, some have more in the middle. Sometimes one will just have one frequency over here that's different. That actually creates, and that has your ear hear the difference between different sounds that are playing the same note. Again, like ma, ma. And so what happens is when you bring a 1 and a 5 together and you put distortion on it, distortion increases the number of overtones, especially towards the higher end, which actually makes the sound larger, hence the power in the power chord. All right, let's keep it going. All right, so what we're hearing here is the idea we heard in the very first piece of music in this entire OST brought back here into the underwater world. What is that idea? Well, it's something along the lines of this. Boom. Now if you go. It's a little fast. Type a 3 in the chat if you recognize that idea from other Mario games. And if you do, that's a dum ba dum 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 ba da da dum 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 dum. And we also heard a similar idea to this in Super Mario. It was either Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario 64, and we can hear it here again in underwater. Now with underwater, it doesn't just stay where it starts. It actually goes to a second place right afterwards. It goes up a minor third. Ooh, cool stuff. So it starts off, we have this little idea in C, and then we take that same idea up a minor third to E flat. Super cool stuff. Let's keep it going. All right, let's talk about sentence structure that we can hear in this piece of music right here. All right, I'm gonna call the melody out as we go. See if you can spot the patterns. All right, here we go. Same rhythm. Da, ba, 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 dee, 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 do, dee. All right, type a 2 in the chat if you could hear that. Even though the notes changed, that was the same rhythm. Ba, 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 ba. Same rhythm again. Ba, 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 ba. So it's because it's the same rhythm, I'm gonna call both of those rhythms A. We're seeing the pattern of the melody here. Now check it out. It's gonna take the first part. So like basically we have motif A and motif B, ba ba da ba da ba, and then motif B is ba 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 ba, and then we have motif A again here, ba ba da ba da ba. Then we have motif B again here, ba 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 ba, and these motifs come together to create subphrases. Now what we're gonna hear is motif A used in a row with no motif B here. Ba da be da ba. Da ba da be da ba. So we have two motif A, which together is going to create something different. So we're going to call that B at the subphrase level. And now here, radically different. Which we could call, like, it starts off with motif A and then it goes to like a motif C, and these together create something different. So we're going to call it subphrase C. So this is sentence structure. You can find this all over classical music. You can find this in earlier Mario games as well. But this right here is a really cool way of creating your own melodies, and we even lined it out for you how to use the motifs here. So motif A, A, and then you do motif B, B, and then over here you do motif C. And this is how you can create a compelling melody like that. You can use the same exact structure. Really cool stuff. All right, let's keep it going. Yeah, groove it. So fun. All right, we're gonna bring it back one time. I'm actually gonna write it down this time. That's our A start. So flat 2. Back to 1. 5, 4, and now we're back to 1. And then it repeats. All right, this is really cool. Now, these are all power chords, which you might recall from our explanation a couple of moments ago. Now, these power chords, and if you're going, I can kind of see this happening over Pokemon. The reason is, Pokemon is all about this 1 to flat 2 for the battle themes with these power chords. 1 to flat 2, really cool stuff. So if you want to construct a battle theme, this is a fun way of doing a battle theme. Now, what makes this battle theme playful is right here where it goes to 5 and 4. Because it goes to 5 and 4, that takes us out of the danger zone and brings us into the playful zone. Also, the melody is not too dangerous. But this right here, this is like, oh, everything's kind of gonna be okay when we hear that. All right, let's keep it going. Yay! We did it. Now right here, we hear as well power chords being used. In this case, we're in the key of, we'll call it G, and we're hearing a 1-5 to a flat 2-5, going to a flat 3-5. And there is a 1-5 before we go back to the flat 3-5. There you go. That is right there the vibe and the feeling of that. Let's keep going to the next one. Super fun. Let's keep it going. Reminds me of Super Mario Sunshine. Also, Super Mario World. It's just like a super slowed down version of the Starman theme. Yeah, it's like the Starman theme. All right, hey, real quick, we had a question in the chat from FatMusic5452. FatMusic5452 is asking, with these flat twos, are these Neapolitan chords? Now, I would not call these Neapolitan chords for a couple reasons. Number one, the Neapolitan chord describes the flat two serving a subdominant function. So unless the flat 2 is serving the function in a subdominant area, I wouldn't call it a Neapolitan 2. Furthermore, the Neapolitan 2 typically serves the subdominant function because it's in first inversion. When it's in first inversion, you actually have scale degree 4 as the lowest note. So when we're hearing the flat 2 here, no, I wouldn't call it that. In fact, I would relate the flat 2 in these contexts more to like our classic, I like to call it a Japanese flat 2 chord progression, where you'd have like a minor 1, and then you'd have a 2, but the quality's major 7. And it's really not serving I mean, you could make an argument that it's serving a subdominant function because it has the 4 in it, but for me, no. In my estimation, the way that I think about it, I do not think about it as being Neapolitan. In fact, I don't even think about 2 chords in general as being Neapolitan unless they're like leading to a 5, like we had, we might have had a flat 2 to a 5 around here somewhere. Yeah, no, maybe not. Oh yeah, here. Here we had a flat 2 to a 5. So here, the flat 2 to the 5, maybe you could call that. You can think about that as being Neapolitan right here. But yeah, unless it's serving a subdominant function. That's why too, okay, so I'm gonna break this down for you. Even if you understand nothing about music theory, I'm gonna break this down for you. So check this out. We can also, people also like will sometimes comment, they're like, why'd you call something major 2 when you call it the 5 of 5? It's like, well, the chord wasn't functioning as a secondary dominant. Unless a chord is functioning as a secondary dominant, I'm likely not going to label it as a secondary dominant. And that also, by the way, is the difference, in my estimation, between classical analysis and more modern analysis. More modern analysis, in my opinion, and the way I do it, is there's a little bit more freedom, and not everything needs to be categorized relative to how it could, like, there's not always one way of categorizing something. Let me explain. So for example, first let's understand the Neapolitan flat 2. So if we're in the key of C major, right, our 1 chord is going to be C, E, G if we have a triad. Now our 4 chord is going to be F, A, C. Our 2 chord is going to be D, F, A. So because these have 2 notes in common, these function as subdominant areas. Subdominant comes from the F, the 4. We call scale degree 4 the subdominant, and we call scale degree 1 C the tonic. So it'd be C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So C is the tonic, scale degree 4 is the subdominant. So because both of these have the F in it and they both have the A in it, they both serve the function of sounding like the subdominant. Now the question of the Neapolitan chord is saying, okay, what if we have a D flat, then we have an F, and an A flat, and saying, okay, well, if this F is in here and it's also over here, then does it also serve the subdominant function? And typically, it's when the order of these chords is actually changed around, and you have the F as the lowest note, which we'd call an inversion. So like D, F, D flat, A flat, or you could spell it like this, F, A flat, D flat, right? So it's basically making the argument that because the F is in the lowest note, it's also serving the subdominant function. So when we think about a 5 chord, we have a similar thing of like a secondary dominant. So still in the key of C, let's keep this up here. Still in the key of C, we have a D major chord. All right, we have a D, F, A, F sharp A. Now the D, F sharp A, this F sharp is not found in the key of C major. Remember we talked about a key is a collection of notes. Here we can see that this F is natural. There is no F sharp. So this is borrowed from outside the key. So there's 2 ways we could think about this. We could think about this DFA because D is 2, right? D is 2. We could think about it as just being a 2 chord that is major. Or what we can do is we can say, okay, actually, if we had a G major scale, that'd be a G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Ooh, there's the F sharp right there. If we had the F sharp, then what we could do is we could actually think about if G was 1, this D, F, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this chord built off the D would actually be a dominant. It would actually, because we talked about the 1 is the tonic, the 4 is the subdominant, and then the 5 is the dominant. So we can actually think about this D and the chord built on top of it as being the dominant of G. Now because we're in the key of C, we're borrowing this D from over here. We're actually going to relate it oftentimes to the G. So you can hear we'll have a 5 of 5. And a 5 of 5 means we're playing a D, which is related to the G, but in the key of C. Now sometimes that works, but also sometimes you have a chord progression like this. Now, you telling me that this right here is functioning as a secondary dominant when we're going to a 4 back to a 1 for the whole piece of music, there is no 5 in it. By the way, we've heard that in plenty of OSTs. That literal chord progression I just played for you, which is 1, I'm going to call it 2, and then to 4, back to 1. So here, I'm going to call this 2 major. Why? Because it's not serving a subdominant, excuse me, a secondary dominant function. All right, let's keep it going. Ooh. All right, we're just going to grab the B section of this piece of music. That is a lot of fun. All right, we're going to pull this back here. So we're in the key of A major. And in the key of A major, the chord progression we hear is in the B section. It goes 4. What I'm going to call, well, is that 4 over... Okay, I'm going to call it 1 over 3. To 5, and then it goes to 6. And then we're back to 4, to 1 over 3, to flat 6, victory theme, flat 7. And so if you're going, well, what do you mean the B section starts on 4? A classic way to write a B section for any piece of music in literally almost any genre, go to the 4. Little bits of Super Mario World in there if I'm not mistaken. Very spooky. It's the second piece we've heard that in. What is that called, by the way? I actually don't know what that's called. What is that called? It's like the sound when doves cry. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. What is that? What is that called? I actually don't know what that's called. Can someone look up for me what that is called? That right there. What's that called? I just call that like, sounds like a bird call. No, the bird call, guys, not the marimba. That. What's that? It's just like Bob. And again, we hear this idea. It's a loon. We hear this idea that we've been hearing throughout the Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. OST. So I'd go ahead and I'd call that a motif in and of itself. Beautiful stuff. Let's keep it going. All right, I'm about to show you a hidden connection that once you hear it, you're never gonna unhear it. Apple juice. It's apple juice. What are you talking about? Storm 2. That is, oh, it's apple juice. It's the piece of music called apple juice. Now, apple juice. Type a 3 in the chat if now you can hear the apple juice song right there. And a brave astronaut says, yeah, that's never leaving my head now. Yeah, you know, you're welcome for that. I did say at the start of the stream we discover hidden connections, so hey, there you go. Yeah, the apple juice song. Guys, the apple juice song. Bump bump bing boom bump bum. Oh bump bump bing boom boom. Oh bump bump bing boom bump bum. Oh bump bump bing boom boom. Oh bump bump bum bum. Oh bump bump bum bum. Oh bump bump bum. Yawa da da bum bum. Apple juice. Dump bum bing boom bum bum. Apple juice. It is Neo Metal. I was making a joke. I was doing the kid-friendly version. Really beautiful chord progression here with World 7 Clouds. We're in the key of C major, and we can hear we got a 1 major 7 that then goes down to a flat 7 major 7. Absolutely delightful. And then to a 4, and then to like a 5 sus4 to 3 business. And then we're back to 1 major 7. And then we're at flat 7 major 7. And then here's where it goes a little different. Then it goes to flat 6 major 7. And then it goes to 5. Really delightful chord progression. Let's keep it going. I think there's more Bowser after this. This is looping. I'm going to go to the next Bowser now. Now what we can hear underpinning Bowser is an interval we've associated with conflict in this Super Mario series more than once. So we are hearing... Unless my ears are deceiving me. Let's pull that back one time here. Well, okay, we're not hearing perfect chords there. It's voiced, that top voice is actually voiced as power chords. And power chords are actually perfect fifth, not a perfect fourth. So I take back everything I said in that intro to just that one thing, and let's go to the next one. Now this reminds me of Lethal Lava Land from 64. You hear that lip trill in there? Someone's going... What was that? Wow, it's looping now. Wow, if you go back and listen to Lethal Lava Land from Super Mario 64, there's a lot of similarities there. Real intriguing stuff. Let's keep it going. Oh my. Now there, we hear those perfect fourths. And perfect fourths, not just any old perfect fourths, perfect fourths in descending chromatic. Lord have mercy, I just spelled that wrong 3 different ways. Chromatic. Ah! Ah! Crow. Oh my gosh. Matic. Chromatic. Chroma. Color. From Greek, all the colors, meaning all the notes in a row. All right, cool stuff. Let's keep it going. And they're so close to our Oh Christmas Tree that we heard back in Super Mario. I don't want to say which one that we heard in a previous Super Mario game. Yeah. Underground theme. Wow, what a groove. By the way, I just want to say, I want to take a moment and say, out of all the Mario games, I think musically speaking, so far, this has been my favorite in terms of just the sounds that are used, the mixing, the mastering, everything, just the whole vibe of the whole thing. This really has been my favorite so far of this series. All right, let's check out this next one, which is Lose a Life. And we're do game over. That's fun. Oh, that's cool. Da ba do dee o de da o e o. That's for the bump bump bump. But do da ba dee ba dee da ba dee. But it's taking that rhythm out of the main Mario theme, that B rhythm. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. All right, it's looping now. We're gonna go to the next one. That was cool. Type Mario in the chat if you could hear the connections to the original Mario theme in that piece of music. That was really, really cool. Oh my gosh, and more Mario references all over this. Bop, 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 boop, bop. There's little gestures, little Mario bits. It's like Mario's crumble. It's a Mario crumble. It's little sprinkled. Little motifs everywhere. Check out this next one. Dun 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 dun. Dum 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 ba dum ba da dum. Type a 3 in the chat if when I'm singing you're hearing it going, oh yeah, I can hear it. Alright, we're looping now. That's so cool. I actually have heard this piece of music before, and I heard it when I was on this channel. I did a whole series where I listened and created my first ever snow theme, my first ever lava theme, my first ever town theme, my first ever boss theme. This, if I recall correctly, is one of the pieces of music I listened to for my inspiration for creating the snow theme. You can find that on the channel. I think I called it the ice theme. And I did a challenge where I created it in like 90 minutes. So I've actually heard this before. I'm gonna go to the next one. 1 to 5. Back to 1. To 4. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's keep it going. Yeah, fourths here. Wow, if you want to hear a striking similarity to another piece of combat music, well, maybe not combat music, but another sort of bad guy, go check out Ganondorf's theme from like Ocarina of Time. Listen to that version of it and compare it to this, and man, you will hear some incredible similarities. Let's keep going with this next one. Yeah, sure thing. What an awesome version of the underground theme here in New Super Mario Bros. Doing the classic C major key. And let's keep going. Here's our Starman theme version. And what we hear is in that version of Starman, we hear the Super Mario 64 bass line playing out, and in addition to that, we hear some of the bass line we've heard in other versions of the Starman theme, being the 1-5-1, both over the 2 and over the 1 chords. Let's keep it going. So what do we hear in this piece of music? Well, let's bring it back for just 1 second here. We're hearing walking up chromatic from C, dropping down to the 5, to flat 7, to 7-1. Really cool stuff there. Let's keep it cooking. Oh, you guys know what time it is. Oh, there's only one song we can sing over this. So we have actually heard this piece of music before in previous Mario games. And it actually features the Royal Road chord progression at least one time through. It doesn't loop the way the Royal Road chord progression does sometimes. The Royal Road chord progression is if, for example, here we're in the key of a G major. We have the 2 minor to the 5, then we go to the 3 minor to the 6. And what happens is this chord progression will never actually give you up. And what I mean by that truly is that this chord progression will also, honestly, when it comes down to it, it'll never let you down. It will also never run around or desert you. It'll never tell a lie. It will also never say goodbye. And what I mean by that is, never give you up, never let you down, never run around to hurt you. And if we listen to this, give you up, never let you down. And there you go. Let's keep it going. This is literally Leaf of Lava Land from Super Mario 64. Alright, we're gonna know the next one. That dum 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 boo dee da. All these are little Marioisms. Chords to the dum 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 ba dum ba dum 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 dum. We hear that idea in there as well. Let's keep it going. Whole tone scale. Let's start with the bum bum. This goes back to, we can draw this all the way back to Starman, but it's the idea of having a 1 and then a 5 that's lower than that 1 as the bass note. And that really, you know, it's used in so many different genres. What we heard right there sounded a little bit more marchy. Let's keep it going. Yes. All right, I did hear this one before. We're gonna know the next one. Absolutely gorgeous and a ton of fun. Let's keep going to the next one. Oh, fun. All right, it's looping now. So this chord progression we're hearing here and this melody is what I'm gonna call the new Super Mario Bros. Theme, because we've heard it multiple times throughout this OST. Let's keep it going. So it's like a... happening over a bass that's going. So let's talk about what that is. We're in the key of F major, and we have an F sharp major, and there's an F sharp pedal tone. Whoops. Got an F sharp pedal tone, and this F sharp pedal tone is just going right along. Now over it, we're hearing the 4 and the 5 chord. Now this actually reminds me of something out of Pokemon. We've heard this in a couple Pokemon OSTs. Not to say that it's like a Pokemon thing and only stays there. No, when I say that, it's just because I get excited by finding connections between different franchises of video game music. Really cool stuff. Let's keep it going. Okay, well that game is loading. All right, it's looping now. Wow, what an incredible listen to the new Super Mario Bros. OST. I love the sounds that were used. I love the ha's, all the hidden gems, the references, the Mario crumble of all the little motifs sprinkled everywhere was absolutely delightful. I had a ton of fun on this stream. I hope you enjoyed it too. Hey, to check out the next video in my Mario reaction series, click over here. And if you want to check out the full Mario playlist, that's going to be over here. Now, if you're a gamer, you want to create your own music, I've created a free starter pack to help you get going and create your own music. That's going to be right here. Click on this thing, and I will see you next time. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me. Chat, Storm, Rubberman, Shmuel, Yoshi Star, it's been real. Great stream. See you guys in the next one. Take care and goodbye.